we're going to assume that Aria loves the colors. So we're going to move this from waiting approval into completed. So the next thing that we're going to work on, of course, is the type treatment. Again, type treatment, what does that even mean? So what is the general kind of look and feel of this type? So we have some copy that we can use. How does it actually look on a website? And also, how does it look in a logo as well? So what we can do is we're going to go back to our Figma file and we're going to make a brand new artboard. So we've got our colors here. And maybe underneath, I'm going to create a new frame. So I'm going to click the frame icon, and underneath here, I'm just going to add a new one. So here we go. Maybe I'll make it quite big. There we go. Maybe 800 by 600. Nice. So we do have some copy that we can use. And again, how we do this is I'm going to click the text icon. I'm just going to make this area pretty big. Something like that for now. And again, at the moment, it's pretty big from previously. So in my Aria Oslo folder, which is my downloads, I've got my about.txt. And I'm just going to open this up in a text editor. It can be any that you want. It's a text file. And I'm just going to take this tagline up here. Now, I'm not going to use all of this for now. I'm just going to use the first few words because I want 2 levels of heading. I want a kind of like big one that I'm going to use in the logo. I want a medium one that I'm going to use on the website, and then a general kind of like body copy one. So there's going to be 3 different text sizes. So I'm going to take Aria as an independent digital artist, and that's it. So I'm going to copy that and paste it in here. So currently it's way too big. For now, what we're going to do is select all of this and we're just going to reduce its size to something like 38 for now. And that kind of works okay. The next thing we're going to do is make a different text size. So again, I'm just going to copy, I'm going to take this and underneath, I'm going to make another one. And for this one, I'm going to take the whole tagline. So this is the middle one. I'm going to paste this in. Now again, this is a little bit too big, so I'm going to select all of this again and just reduce it in height. So maybe something like 24, that kind of works for me. And then the last one is we want this kind of like paragraph style. So again, I've not really done any kind of type treatment to this. I'm just setting this up. So I'm going to take this text box and I'm going to make it below. And I'm just going to take maybe this paragraph in the middle, kind of copy that and paste it in here. Again, a little bit too big, so I'm going to reduce it down to 18, maybe 14, even smaller. So this is kind of a basic type treatment. I'm just going to align these up just on the left side for now. The next thing I'm going to do is just change this frame name so I know it's colors and type. So I've got this as a type, got this as colors, I know which is which. So how do I go about picking which typeface and which type sizes? Now, one thing I like to start with is from the bottom upwards. And the reason for that is this will inform the other things. So this is kind of like the base layer that I'm going to use to build on top of. So here, the first thing I'm going to do is actually work on the text size. So 14 by default, which is what we put, is a little bit small for the web. It feels a little bit hard to read. So I want this to be a bit more readable. So what I'm going to do is just actually increase this a little bit. So rather than 14, how does 15 look? That does look better. Maybe even something like 16. That feels a little bit more easy to read. Now with this as well, I've got these different options. I can change how, if it's regular to bold, I can change the font. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I'm going to keep the fill as black because let's not worry about any of that for now. I'm going to combine it a little bit later. And in here, I can change things like the line height. So for default, I can say, if I change this up and down, we can see this lines between each one getting further apart. So for something like this, I can kind of do it by eye. Something that's a bit more readable is something like 130 to 150%. I'm just going to do it as 150% for now, because that feels quite readable. It feels quite open and quite modern and clean. Now, the more area you have to read, generally the cleaner it looks. It's just kind of like a visual thing. So for now, that kind of feels pretty good for me. We're not really worried about the roboto, which is the default one in here. For now, we're just going to say this is the right size and the right space in between things. We'll kind of tweak that a little bit later. So once we've got this 16, how about the next one? So 24 and 16 kind of works well together because this is 150 of this, 150% of this. So I've just basically multiplied this in 1.5. So things like 1.5 is a nice round number to actually multiply by. So if I want to pick another text size, maybe 16, If I want to double it, this would be 32. So this could be something like 32 up here. So I'm just going to do 32 for now. What these kind of numbers do is almost like have a ratio, of kind of mathematical ratio between everything. So by adding this kind of mathematical ratio in between my text sizes, this naturally, for my eye, feels quite readable. I'm not just picking things for the sake of it, I'm doing it because of math. So 24 is actually pretty good as a size here. Maybe I want to increase this size in between the lines. Again, as it's a text size, maybe something like 130%, maybe something like that. See how that looks? It's not quite as high as this, which is 150, because the lines are bigger. So it's a little bit, it feels bigger, even though this is a lot smaller of a number. So again, I'm going to use this idea on here. So I've got 16. So maybe 32 feels a bit small. Maybe I want to do 2.5 times 16. Again, I can just quickly do this in Spotlight. I'm just going to do 16 times 2.5, 40. That feels quite good. Let's try 40 in here. I'm not just picking random numbers. 40 looks pretty good. And again, if I just want to make this a little bit shorter to go into 2 lines, that kind of feels quite good. Again, what is that? Auto. What is auto? Don't know. I have to actually put something in. 120. Maybe try that. 120%. See, that feels quite good. So I've done my kind of text treatment. I've kind of really worked on the spacing and the sizes of the font here. I haven't really done anything about the text treatment. So in the next video, what we're going to do is talk about which fonts to use as part of this